King Bubba Billy Johnson. Bang TV is the name of this page. You know the page, Bang TV. Thank you to all my subscribers that watch my page, that check my page out from time to time. I know we don't be putting a lot of stuff up here because page just kind of got out of control. You know what I'm saying? I be doing stuff on other platforms. I mostly be on Facebook doing a podcast for Facebook for people in my city. I be doing little podcasts for them early in the morning at 9:45. You know, because we got artists in my city. We got a lot of stuff that goes on in my city in Albany and Troy, and a lot of people don't talk about that city. So I talk to my city every morning, try to keep them motivated on a music level, on a worldly level, and shit like that. So I do that most of the time. But when I'm not doing that kind of stuff, like I said, I'm doing podcasts. Once again, I was on the radio for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I did college radio. I did online radio. I've been on numerous shows. I'm from the DVD era mostly, where used to run around with the camera and get footage. But I'm a child. I'm born in the '80s, raised in the '90s. You know what I mean? So I got the chance to grow up with all the stuff that you guys talk about from the '80s to the '90s, directly by number. Like '96, I was around. '97, I was around. '91, I was around. '92, I was around. You know what I'm saying? And just being a kid from the Bronx in the streets, running around, being able to go places and see things and see rappers. I kind of got a good photogenic memory of what was going on and how things went. So my show is basically, we talk about a lot of hip hop stuff. We're gonna talk about it's gonna talk about all kinds of stuff. The more comfortable we get, but for now, I'm trying to stick to the script, and I'm gonna talk about this hip hop '90s thing. I see a lot of people from other countries. Shout out to England. Shout out to Germany, Russia. Everybody trying to get their media feel on hip hop in New York or in America and how things went and all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna be doing some stuff. I'm gonna be here playing my game, smoking. So it's gonna be we're gonna have a regular conversation about this. So this is called "The Kid from Queens Who Pop Couldn't Beat," and this is really about the It Was Written album and how Nas' album It Was Written was one of the best hip hop albums in 1996. Really, to me, one of the best albums, period, that changed the whole music game, that changed the whole climate of music, that changed the way people rapped. It's really bigger than what people made it out to be. And I want to talk about that today. So we're going to go in, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be rolling up some weed and be drinking a little Henny, and we're going to have a good, cool hip-hop conversation. Shout out to everybody that watches my show. Shout out to everybody that be tuned in. Shout out to Sub-Zero DVD. Shout out to Zeke Black. Shout out to Gene Deal. Shout out to everybody that I mess with in the media field. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk about real hip hop shit that I remember, question things, ask questions about certain things that happen, certain albums, certain songs, certain lyrics. We're going to have all kinds of topics on here that y'all going to be interested in fucking with. Like I said, whether you watch it live or you don't, you watch it later, it's all good. You feel what I'm saying? But we're definitely going to be talking about this Nas thing. There's been a lot of talk about Nas, Jay-Z. I noticed there's been a lot of talk amongst the younger guys, like guys that's like 30, 28, they've 20, and guys a little older are really into Jay-Z right now. Like Jay-Z's like the real, they're talking about him a lot, being the greatest rapper and the richest. And recently he did a verse on Khaled's album, or a song called God Did, and Jay-Z had a dope verse on there. A lot of people say it's one of the best verses out and greatest verse of all times. But which I do a lot in this show. I always play devil's advocate, whether I'm right or wrong. I play devil's advocate. And not to say Jay didn't have a hot verse that was dope, that he did in one take, and all the stuff and all the amazing stuff he did surrounding the verse. But to me, once you have followed certain rappers for a long time, you can tell what's a dope verse, and you could tell what's an aight verse. And I'm not saying his verse was aight, his verse was fire. If you was ever hustling, you was ever in your bag, you was ever trying to get a dollar, you understood everything he said. I think a lot of people just be happy the fact that he said billionaire and who's a billionaire, him and Riri are billionaires. I don't think nothing else in that verse really mattered to anybody else that was younger. It's just the fact that he's a billionaire, he could talk about billions. I think that's the turn on for the people. But being from the 90s and the 80s, there was an era where lyrics really meant something. The way you structured the song meant something. The way you who you had in the song meant something. The beats meant something. And I'm talking about that era. I don't even want to talk about what's going on now. Let's talk about this era. So, the kid from Queens that Pac couldn't beat, right? So 1994, we're gonna go into like 90. We're gonna go into 94. I'm gonna bring you all the way through. I just want you to look at these things. So you got 1994. You have this kid. Now, mind you, like in 92, 91, 92, we can give those years to Pac. Like, we can give those years to Pac, like 91, 92. Pac had, I think, Strictly for My Niggas. I'm right now, I'm not, listen, we are doing some historic stuff, but we're not doing it for a history lesson. We are, but we're not. You can do the rest of the math and the history as y'all want to, as you going. I'm just trying to give you some narratives here. And I throw my own opinions in it as well. So 9-1, 9-2, we can give those to Pac. 9-3, we can give those to Pac. Pac was like one of the biggest artists. When Pac came out and finally dropped, he was one of the biggest artists. He had movies, he had albums, he had singles, he had everything going for him. Pac was like one of the biggest artists, right? But in 94, this kid from Queens dropped an album called Illmatic. This album was so good. I remember, I always say, I don't know if you remember, I remember vinyl was still popping. People were still, of course there was vinyl because there was still DJs. Niggas were still mixing and making mixtapes and records and shit. So vinyl was still popping. And I remember out of all the vinyl, because vinyl, when you used to have vinyl, certain records you're supposed to have. I know one record was supposed to have the Michael Jackson album. The Off the Wall album, you're supposed to have that. That, Menudo, I don't know why. If you're from the Bronx, you definitely had a Menudo album. If you're from the Bronx and someone's Spanish and it had the archives, you had a Menudo album. Somebody had a Menudo album in that joint. So, but I know Menudo, Off the Wall, Luther Vandross. There was a couple of albums you're supposed to have. And later on down the line in the 90s, Nas' album was an album you're supposed to have in the archives of having vinyl. This kid came and dropped this classic album with these beats that was so classic. See, people tend to not understand why Nas is popping. It's not because he had dope beats and just good rhymes. You can vision the things he's saying. The beat comes on, and this kid rhyming with this smooth voice is giving you a vision. You can see Queens with your eyes by listening. You don't understand what I'm saying. Y'all missing me. You can see Queensbridge. You can see the bridge. You can see the buildings. You can see the benches. You can see the guys he's describing. You can see it with your eyes by listening to him. Clear picture. Every word was clear. He's not jumbling a bunch of words around, he's speaking clearly. He's pronouncing every word. And then you can vision the things he's saying. So clear. It was fucking you up. It was like a movie. It was a mental movie. The more you play this album, the more you get entwined with the beats and his lyrics and the vision, you're in there. You're lost. That Illmatic album lasted from 94 to 96. He dropped in 94. After Nas dropped in 94, I mean, I couldn't tell you what happened in between, like why he didn't drop other stuff after. But that Illmatic album was moving and shaking so much through that time. So it's not like he dropped Illmatic and it was quiet and nobody was fucking with Nas. That album was doing, it just kept going. It was an album it was just one of those albums that you can play from top to bottom. Mind you, the Illmatic album wasn't even a long album like that. If you really think about it, it really wasn't a long album. It really was a short album. It really was short. The songs weren't that long. It really was a short album. You feel what I'm saying? But you can play this album from top to bottom without skipping any songs. Like, not skipping nothing. With the skits in between. Because niggas don't do that no more. Niggas don't do an album that you can vision. The skits, you can hear the skits. Now you know what AZ sound like. Now you know what Jungle sound like. You feel what I'm saying? Then when you get a picture of them, now it all matches. Like, we don't have that essence no more. That used to be the essence of it. Like, you want to know what Nas looked like. You want to know if he was really tall. You want to know if he was short. You want to know if Jungle was really a wild nigga. You want to know if AZ was really that smooth, what he looked like. You want to know. And you got increments and pieces back then. With all this internet stuff, you get to see these niggas every fucking day, where they living at, what car, what mansion. We're not even in the press no more. You know what I'm saying? But you can vision Nas's music when you heard it, and that album, that Illmatic album, carried. Now, mind you, once again, you have Pac, who's in the lead. Pac has the best music out in this time frame, right? But when this kid dropped Illmatic, it changed the whole music game. The beats, this kid is young, is 19, it just changed the whole game. So not to say nobody wasn't talking about Pac anymore, but this new kid is flaming their ass with these fucking records and this visual music, because everybody else is rapping. And not to say, now let me tell you something about Pac. See, people always talk about Pac and him not being a lyrical guy. Pac was very lyrical, but Pac was also a very good storyteller, right? Same thing as Nas. Pac was a very good storyteller. So Nas was. See, the thing with Pac and Nas was they studied the same people. This is when you find your challenge. Pac found his challenge. Oh shit, this fucking kid is me. Without all the extra action-packed shit, without all the extra hammers and the extra gang shit, without all the extra shit, him and Pac were the same people. Same shit, same growing up powerful, same shit. Wouldn't be surprised if her father and his mom's crossed paths. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. But at the end of the day, they're the same person without all the action. He was Pac without all the extra legendary shit. So I'm killing them. So I'm going to put it in a better frame. I'm killing them. Murdering them with these albums. And this kid comes out of nowhere with this album in 94 and slows me down a little bit. Just a little bit. He ain't stopped me. But he's slowing me down here in New York. Here, this kid's amazing. I'm listening to this kid and I'm going, this kid is amazing. This fucking kid got... fuck is going on with this kid here? So Illmatic takes over the whole game. Everybody is trying their best Nas renditions during this time as well. There was a lot of people that try to come out and sound like Nas during the Illmatic era. Y'all don't think so? Like, y'all don't think that ever happened? Anything in music, it always happens. Now, maybe it happened less because in the 90s, you could not be original. You have to be original. You could not bite someone's style. You could do a genre, which means, like, for instance, when Nas was into the Escobar stuff and all that, you know, Raekwon and them had the Wu Gambinos, they was into their shit. And then Nas got into his shit as well. So we all could rep some mob shit, but I can't sound like Raekwon on my album. I can't sound like him. I can't do a song like him. I have to do my versions of my things. You feel what I'm saying? That's what made the 90s so strong. Niggas, Nas sounded like Nas. Even though they had the Wu Gambinos, Nas became Nas Escobar and brought his own style to it. You feel me? But we're going to get into that. So now, 94, Nas popping. right? Killing them, right? But once again, he took a hiatus. The album is still selling all through 94. All the way through 94, that album was not budged. Nas didn't drop another single. Nas just kind of like disappeared. You know what I mean? He didn't drop anything. Um, there wasn't even no mixtape songs during this time. And people were still doing mixtape at this time. He didn't drop an exclusive single. He didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? What's good? What's good? Good versus evil. What's good? Um, he didn't have anything at the time. He just Nas just had this Illmatic album that just was going and going and going. You picked the songs, you played Life's the Bitch, you played New York State of Mind. Even with the mixtapes, like even on a mixtape, you had to play a Nas record. Like the mixtape DJs would play something from Nas, one of the songs. You know what I mean? Even if they played some of it, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, with all, let me see. And Satan even knows what happened. This guy's talking crazy. Anyway, so Nas, he really came like a thief in the night. Oh, okay, he's talking this shit. Yeah, at the end of the day, so now this album is popping, but it's starting to fade. People are starting to ask questions. Yo, where's the Nas kid? Right? Pac drops again. Pac drops in 95 because remember Pac goes to jail for the did he go to jail for the rape thing? He goes to jail for the rape case, I think getting shot at this time. So he drops Me Against the World, he goes to jail, right? Pac has the biggest fucking album now. It's 95. So Nas is still popping with Illmatic. The Illmatic album once again it's such a classic album. It's already a classic album. He dropped one album. Nas dropped one album and had a classic album already for years. You could not talk about the Nas album. They were still reviewing when he wasn't doing the music. They were still doing reviews on the music. They still was. Gotta come into the kitchen real quick. I'm chefing something up. They were doing reviews on the music when he wasn't dropping. Still say how this is the best album still and all this stuff with the Nas album. Pac drops, right? So Pac comes out, Pac drops Me Against the World, right? Biggest album in the world, number one album. Pac's locked up in jail, and Me Against the World is murdering everything moving. Pac got the support from Jasmine Guy. Pac got the support from everybody supporting Pac while he's in jail. This album does amazing. Biggest album out 1995. Nobody's beating his album. Best album out. Killing them, murdering them. Me Against the World. Tupac, right? Killing them. So Pac got 95 on lock, right? Mind there's other things out in 95. 95, you got Biggie coming out in 95 now. So Biggie coming out in 95. You feel what I'm saying? Biggie got 95. Pac took over 95. I want to make sure I'm saying it right because I think, when did Biggie drop? Biggie dropped in 95, right? Or was it 93? It had to be 95. Biggie dropped his first album. But Pac was the man. Nobody's touching Pac. Pac has this thing, has the whole rap game shooken up. He's in jail. This guy's he got a rape charge. He got a gun charge. He's been shot. This is crazy right now. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy. The world's going crazy over Pac. 95. Pac killing him. Right? So Pac got 95. Biggie's supposed to come out. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of music coming out in 95. You got a lot of rappers coming out in 95 because like, think about it. By the time 96 came, the Snoop Dogg's, everybody else was kind of like gearing up to get there. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. A lot of guys is gearing up to get there. What the hell? Who is this? This guy's fucking crazy. I let him talk crazy. I'll block him another day. So you got Biggie gearing up. You got Pac being the biggest joint. You still got the kid. They're still talking about this kid. This kid. He hasn't dropped anything in a minute, and they're still talking about this kid with this album, this Illmatic album. Where's he at? This kid disappeared. Man, don't worry about this kid. He not messing with none of us. We got this on smash, right? Biggie drops. Pac is killing him. Biggie drops an album that's starting to kill him. Redman is still popping. Let's not forget Redman was the man. You know what I'm saying? You can block me, brother. You enjoy your day. Whatever you're trying to do, I don't know. I'm just doing what I do. But if you want to block me, brother, amen to you. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves me. Bye. I choose evil, brother. Yes. I chose the path of the evil. Look. I've chosen evil. You don't see my face? You know who you're talking to? Look. Look at my face. Look at my nose. Who do I look like? Look at my mustache. Look at my chin. What do you think I chose? Nah, get up out of here. Anyway, I'm just playing with y'all. You chose evil. Who do I look like? I'm just playing, y'all. Anyway, so Pac, you got Big, they're killing them, and then let's go into let's just go right into it. 1996 comes in, right? Pac has been gone. Nas has been gone for a while. Pac is killing them. Big is on the rise. Jay-Z is in and out doing freestyles on the mixtapes. You feel what I'm saying? He's dropping songs, and here comes the kid. He comes back. He's back. He's better than ever. He's not little Nas, nasty Nas no more. Now he's Nas Escobar. He's calling this Escobar season. He's talking different. He got the wave spinning now. He's wearing fly sweaters. He's shorting the jewelry. He got the big chunky jewelry chains. Now we iced out now. Big medallions. He's changed the game. July 2nd, 1996. Now, like I try to tell everybody, for me, like I said before, a lot of y'all, I told you I'm a hip-hop analyst. I do my little hip-hop analysis. I've been outside for a long time. I had the luck of being able to see and be around certain things during that era. And the luck of the draw that I got to have was that my friend his uncle is a hip-hop artist. You know what I'm saying? That was in the music game. Still in the music game, but probably not doing as much music anymore. But he was a hip-hop artist in the game. So for me, I want to say in June. I'll date it June 22nd. Let's give it that date. It might not be an actual right date, but we're going to say June. And I'll say the 22nd. I got to hear this album called It Was Written. It had no cover. It had no picture. We just knew it was the Nas album. And people were losing their mind and could not wait for Nas to come back. They just couldn't niggas just couldn't wait for Nas to come back. Now I'm trying to remember if he was dropping any freestyles around the time he dropped. No, what he had, I remember what he did. So what Nas did was Nas was on the Raekwon album, right? He was on the Raekwon album. And once he was on the Raekwon album, that's when he really was starting to talk about his Nas Escobar stuff and him being Escobar, and he started talking like that. So now you're saying it sounds like Nas is coming back. Then he did the song with him and AZ had the song. They had the joint. What was the joint? More Money, More Murder. They had that. I think that was More Money, More Murder, and the joint with him and Raekwon were the two songs that let you know that Nas was coming back. And he was coming back on some mob boss different shit. He was already calling himself Escobar. Let me tell you something about this It Was Rare album and this whole Escobar thing. This was different. Because at the time you had the mob stuff going on. Everybody was calling himself some kind of mob name. Everybody was trying to do their best rendition of Italian bosses and all that stuff because that's what was going on in the 90s. Like to have a mob name, like me being Bumpy Johnson, like that was a mob name. Like the 90s, the mob was the gang. Like right now, the kids got the drills and the drill name and little this one, little that one, they all killers. It was dope to have a Italian boss mob name at these times because that was the realest thing going on in New York. So when Raekwon was doing the Wu Gambinos and they was on their shit, Nas had More Money, More Murder, and he had the song with Raekwon. I forgot the name of the song, but it's on Raekwon's album. This lets you know that Nas is coming back. He's on his way back, right? I still feel like around this time, I still feel like Jay-Z had dropped um Reasonable Doubts. I really feel like he dropped Reasonable Doubts, and then um It Was Written came out and kind of put a stop to everybody's shit. Like nobody can move. It Was Written came out, no one could move. Here's why this album was so fire. And like I said, we're gonna get into how we ended up not respecting it or whatever the case may be. Um, It Was Written came out, like I said, in July. I got to hear the album in June, right? When I heard this album in June, I'm bragging about I could not stop talking about this album. Here's why this album was so fire, what people don't understand, and why this album changed the music game and the way rappers wrote lyrics from Tupac to Jay to Big. What he did was written, right? Remember, it's a lot of stories. Once again, we're going back to Nas being a very good storyteller. Very dope, good storyteller, right? It was written the way he told the stories and the way he broke down the people in the stories and the things that were going on in that story was like Donald Goines. What Nas did was took the Donald Goines writing style that Donald Goines used in his books and put it and made it into a rap version of that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you ever read a Donald Goines book, Donald Goines takes a character and he'll break him down, tell you how tall he is, how short, if he's fat, if he got red nose, if he got this. You can see the characters when you read a Donald Goines book. And all Nas did was took that style and put it into the music. No one's never did anything like that before. See, which I try to understand like why he was the best and best lyrical. It was he took something from books and put it into music, where now you really can vision the things he's saying. When you listen to Shootouts, you can vision Rambo. You know what he looks like. You can vision Homegirl, Fat Ass Dissolve It. You can vision these things. You can see it. Once again, you can smell Queen even better. Because now the production is different. He went bigger production. He didn't use not to say that Pete Rock or anybody was regular, but he went bigger as far as production. So he went with the Track Masters. He went with Dre. He went with like Havoc. He went with like bigger names. He went underground, but he went with bigger names. By this time, Havoc is already the man for Mobb Deep making the beat. You got Dre already popping. He done left Death Row. I think he was left Death Row. He was leaving or whatever. And you had the Track Masters, brand new dudes doing their thing with this whole new dope new sound. And Nas had the access to all that. So he just went bigger on the production tip, which made him go bigger on the rhyming tip. Now, this It Was Written album, I'm telling you, every rapper changed the way they rapped. Every rapper had story. I remember the Sporty Thieves, right? So what's the one I always remember? Because I remember turning the niggas saying, yo, everybody changing their style to Nas shit. The Sporty Thieves has a song where it's like this, it's a story song. You know what I mean? Where they get in the car and it's this whole story song. But nobody was doing these story songs until Nas did It Was Written. That album was so visual. You can see, once again, everything that he's saying, you can vision it. So now you got Pac, once again, right? I think Pac had dropped. Now here's where I get confused, and I'm sorry, guys. Here's where I get confused. If you want to put it here in the comments, you can put it in here. Nas dropped in July 2nd of 1996. Tupac dropped in February. All Eyes on Me. He dropped in February, I think 16th or 12th, something like that, of 1996. Now I smoke weed, so I know you're hearing the months, right? But I'm just lost on, was it Pac? Was it Nas and then Pac, or was it Pac, Nas, and then Pac again? Here's why I say Pac again. Pac heard that it was written album and lost his mind. Like the rumors is Pac heard that it was written album and lost his mind. Mind you, a lot of you don't know, when Tupac died in Vegas, they were playing the It Was Written album. You know that, right? Okay. This album had Pac losing his fucking mind. The writing was phenomenal. The visual, he everything that we all saw, he saw it. And it's like Pac was like, I gotta say what he said. This fucking kid is whooping him. That's why in reality, right? Even though he dropped All Eyes on Me, double album did great. He was going to, if he didn't die, he was going to drop that Machiavelli album right away. He wasn't gonna wait. Because if you listen to the Machiavelli, I'm gonna give you something that y'all probably didn't notice. If you listen to the Machiavelli album is answering every song on It Was Written album. The Machiavelli album is answering every song that was on It Was Written. Let's think about it. I'm gonna give you one example. Me and My Girlfriend. Nas got the song called the song about the gun. I Gave You Power. We can keep going on and on and on and on. You can add the songs up. Listen to them both. Listen to one and then listen to the other. Pac is answering everything that was on It Was Written. Any song that Nas did, Pac tried to do ×2 on the Machiavelli album. This is the honest truth. Look it up. That album really had him. He couldn't beat him. He couldn't beat this fucking kid. Remember, when this album dropped, it's not like it dropped lightly. So we're gonna go into the whole Jay-Z. I don't know. I still to this day really don't understand how Jay made the whole world think that It Was Written was an I album. I still don't understand how even people that write reviews would even agree that It Was Written was an I album, and that he drops every once in a while, and it wasn't really like that, fam. I mean, once again, I explained it. Nas dropped, and once again, don't know why he didn't re-drop right away, or we don't know why he kind of like had this like disappearing thing that happened. Like, you didn't see him on anything. I'm telling you, didn't see him on a video show. He didn't have secret interviews. He was just gone after this first album, not knowing what's going on, but he was still popping. Like, it's like he got away with murder. It's like he got away with murder. Like, he got to drop something to get away with it. Hold on, y'all. I gotta go back to get my little steak. It's like he got away with murder. Yeah, it's like he got away with murder. He got the chance to drop one album, and after the one album, he didn't have to oh shit. Ooh. Yeah, after the one album, he didn't really have to he didn't have to drop again. Like, he didn't really have to do too much of anything. He kind of was all set. Okay, you don't have the clamp on? All right, thank y'all for tuning in. Bang Bang TV. Now we do it. I do regular stuff. I was making the steak out there. So making me a little steak. So anyway, once again, once Nas dropped this album, like I told you, he didn't have to do anything. This kid is just living off of this one album that's doing so much. within the time frame. So by the time he came back, it was like his seat. It's like he was the king, and people were calling him. That's why this is why everybody claimed Nas king, because he was the king. This album was doing so well, you couldn't surpass this album. Nothing was like it. You couldn't hear an album that sounded like it. Nobody was rhyming like that. Nobody was in '94. Nobody was rapping the way that he was rapping. The tone, the word play. Nobody was doing that. Like you can say the words too. You can sound intelligent if you say some of Nas's rhymes. Like nobody was doing it. The way everybody rap was so different and even more aggressive. Nas wasn't even like aggressive. Like it's like he's coming off as a punk neither, but he wasn't even like an aggressive rapper, like going hard. Like he was so smooth and laid back and so cool. Like you just couldn't. And then with the beats and then the sounds, it just was a beautiful album. So by the time he's back now, and it's '96, things are getting a little crazy. Like I said, the streets is getting a little crazy. Gangsta music is definitely ushering its way. Gangsta music is here, but it's definitely ushered its way into the New York City streets a little bit more. And this is why New York City ended up doing gangster rap, because you had, the word gangster rap is coming up, with the NWA and all this other stuff. Oh, nah, New York, we mafioso here. This is the home of John Gotti. Y'all talking about gang stuff. See, this is what happened with New York. This is what happened in the 90s. Y'all talking, see, this is when we first tried to go gang. No, it's the truth. It's when we first tried to go gang. With the whole NWA things, we're in the West Coast. That's gang territory. We talking about gang. We talking about colors. We were there. But New York is going, oh, no. We don't do that here in New York. This is what we do here in New York. We do mafioso. We get you whacked. John Gotti hits. Lucchese's. We Banano. We're talking about, oh, y'all want to talk about gang stuff? No. This is what we do here in New York here. This is, you get whacked. We'll finish you off. We'll bring these 2 zips here, and then we'll whack you away. You're going to sleep with the fucking fishes. This is what we do here in New York. That was the vibe he was bringing while California was trying to bring the gang vibe. So this is how we got gangster music on our end to pop from New York. So now you got Nas calling himself Nas Escobar. The beats is crazy. You know what's crazy? I might be wrong about the freestyle. Nope. The release was in me and all that. All that was, now let's keep it real. Let me see. Because Nas has that freestyle where he jacking for beats. You know what? I think, to be honest with you, I'm really bugging. I'm bugging, y'all. Let's see. I bug out too. Sometimes I forget, but we gonna go in. Nas did have freestyles on the Clue joints. Remember, he had the song On the Real. On the Real, oh, you crabbing. That was kind of his first intro to being Nas Escobar. The freestyle he got for the jacking for beats, I think that was more Nas Escobar as well. So Nas was doing mixtape stuff. He was doing it off and on. He wasn't doing it back to back, but he was doing it, and the freestyles were holding him over as well. Especially the Jacket for Beats one. And then he did this On the Real joint, which I remember they played it on Stretch and Bobbito for the first time, and you heard that piano, that doom, 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 doom. And then they started calling Nas the Piano Man. I know my shit. Ask Nas. Ask somebody that would know. They was calling Nas the Piano Man because a lot of his songs had these dope pianos in them that was just so fire. Like, these grimy pianos. I think this was all Trackmasters at the time. But he was known for having some grimy piano. See, Illmatic was a little more jazzy. Had a little more jazz flavor to it. Had some horns. When he came back and them grimy, doom, 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 that piano were On the Real. They came back with Core Mega and what's the other brother name that's on there? I always forget. KL. I forgot the brother name. He's nice. His voice is crazy. But him, Nas, and Cormega with that song, it was calling Nas the Piano Man. This was the entrance of Escobar. You feel what I'm saying? And then by 9-6, he was Escobar season started. He comes out with the album. This is my man Pac though in the beginning of the album. Mind you, that like 50 Cent had said, and I didn't know there was a lot of sneak attacks that were being made by each other. The only one I really remember with Nas and Jay in the beginning, I remember they both had a punchline that was like they both had said some shit, and I really remember this one too. I remember both of them saying something like, Taylor made rhymes that fit you. Like they both had said, like Nas said it, and I remember Jay saying it, and I'm saying, I don't remember who, I wonder who said it first. Like who got it from who. And I remember Nas saying it, and I remember Jay saying it. But with all that being said, man, It Was Written when it dropped was the number one album that came out. I remember when Nas says he brought the plaque back to the projects, that was a real picture in the New York Post or the Daily News or one of the newspapers where he brought the plaque of It Was Written to the projects. He's standing. I remember the picture. He's like this with his feet crossed. He's leaning on the gate, and the plaque is right there next to him. And he brought it to the projects for all his mans to celebrate. That was a real thing. So when we try to remember and when we say these things about Nas and how he was great, all you gotta do is do the math. Think about it when he was beefing with Pac. Look around. Look at the time. Look at the date and look what was out. Look at it. Look at It Was Written. Look at the date. Look at the dates he was beefing with Pac and all that stuff was happening. He wasn't just beefing with Pac because he was Nas. He was beefing with Pac because that album was fucking crazy. Biggie changed his shit. Biggie changed his shit. Listen to It Was Written and then go listen to Life After Death. Listen to Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubts now. Listen how niggas start telling stories. Listen to Pac's shit. They all started telling stories. They all started telling visual stories over certain beats, picking ill samples. It got different, fam. Nas changed the whole music game. Niggas was rapping a certain way, and when Nas brought the story thing to it, and when Nas brought the different beats and all that stuff, he changed the game. He changed the game. He took the game that y'all was playing and changed it to his game. And then niggas, Nas is like one of the only niggas that you really can't, like maybe now you can, but Nas is the only rapper you really can't like bite his style and rap like him because he has just a style that's so unique that no one could do it. So by the time he did It Was Written, no one could rap like that. No one knew how to put it together. No one even figured out what he did with that whole Donald Goines thing. Nobody could figure it out. They didn't understand what this kid did. This is why they claimed him king. They couldn't get it. And then he brought all the elements Jay-Z was trying to bring with the drug dealer talk, the elements of the street shootout shit that maybe Pac was bringing, maybe a little bit of what Big was bringing. This kid brought it to full circle with clean stories behind him. With stories behind them. And you can vision the stories. I can see the in shootouts where they had the gambling and the cars blocked the block off and fed the fiends like niggas shot. You can see it. You can see it. When I sing a Nas song, I do the movements because you can see it. And when I sing some Nas songs to some of my niggas, they be like I'll sing a Nas song that they heard before, and I'll be doing the movements, and they'll be like, oh, I never looked at it like that. Like, oh shit, like, damn, Bump, you really singing the shit out of that Nas song. Like, oh, he did say, oh, you can see it now. You know what I'm saying? So I called this one, like I said, the kid from Queens that Pac couldn't beat because every time it seemed like Nas came out, he would outbeat Pac's records. Pac dropped, so like I said, let me see. All Eyes on Me had to be was after it was written. Right? Am I saying it right? Put it in the comments. If it was after, he knew that kid. Remember the music. Remember, Pac already had the music, so Pac was already gearing up to do what he's doing. But he's listening to this. It was written joint. That's why he hurried up and did that Machiavelli album. It wasn't because he was trying to meet a quota and he had to hurry up. He wanted to put this out while Nas' album was still popping. Because this kid about to do it again. He about to do it again. Man, Nas gonna do it again. He about to drop this album, right? Pardon me. He about to drop this album, Fall Back, and we probably don't hear from this kid again in the next 2 years again. Which he didn't do. After he did the album, he had the firm. He had the firm with AZ and Fox. Pardon me, y'all. He had the Firm album. He had the Firm. He put the Firm together. He took AZ. He took Foxy, Core Mega, Nature, and he started the Firm. He tried to start a squad, which to me the Firm could have been popping. Everybody always talk about the beats, and the beats didn't work, and Dre gave him bullshit beats and all that. To me, the Firm was still a dope album. Once again, another album that one marketing. I'll blame the Firm album on marketing, but it was written, man. So when I was reading about it was written right, they were saying it was Nas's biggest album. It went triple platinum. It sold 270,000 in the first week. Back then in the 90s, that was good. So y'all looking for platinum right away and all this other shit. You got to remember, this was kind of the start. Like Pac, Big. That's why their names are always in there, because these guys went triple platinum, double platinum while they was alive. Platinum wasn't even easy to get. Y'all act like platinum is an easy thing. Back in the 90s, that's why platinum became the biggest thing, because platinum was hard to get. Everybody was going gold. Only motherfuckers that went platinum was like Michael and Prince and all these niggas. So for a rap album to go platinum was really big back then in the 90s. Those are big numbers. And then Pac going diamond and triple platinum while he's alive. These are things we've never heard of. Going diamond. We've never heard of these things, not in the rap game. So when the rappers are doing these numbers and these things are happening, this is where all this money started coming. This is where all the excitement, this is where all the iced out jewelry or the platinum jewelry came in. Because going platinum was a big thing. But Pac, Big, Nas were already doing well. I don't know about Big. I don't know if his album went platinum. His first album. I don't know if it went platinum. It might have went platinum later, but don't quote me. I might be wrong. I know, of course, Life After Death went past platinum, but it came out when he passed away. Biggie was the only one out of everybody that had a double album that didn't get to see it do anything. Pac, when he dropped his double album, he was alive. Everybody that dropped their double album was basically living. But Nas had the streets on lock with this fucking It Was Written album, because nobody was just rapping like that back then. Nobody, man, nobody. You can't, don't say Rakim. Rakim was already out the door. I'll be more real with you. It was Nas, It Was Written album was being talked about so much then, and he was being compared to Rakim. It made Rakim come back out and put music back out because his name kept coming up. Yo, he sound like Rakim. Yo, Nas the new Rakim. So now you got the kids of the 90s. I'm a kid of the 80s, but in the 90s. I already knew who Rakim was, but you had the other kids who didn't know who Rakim was. Now they're finding out who Rakim was through the fact of they hearing about this kid named Nas. You know what I'm saying? And that's when motherfucking Rakim dropped the 18th letter. I think that's what it's called. He dropped the 18th Letter album. He dropped it through Death Row. I think he was on Death Row. I'm not sure if that's where he dropped the album at, but he dropped the double CD. Rakim dropped a double CD. So Rakim dropped a double joint, and it did amazing. It did amazing on his comeback. Like, it did great. I think after the Death Row thing, things kind of slowed up for him. But around that time, with Nas being popular with this "It Was Written" album, it helped boost Rakim's career again for him to come back out and do what he does. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's about it, man. So I just wanted to talk about that. And I just never understood how we allowed Jay-Z to say, how we allowed Jay-Z to dictate Nas's career, and how did we agree to it? It was like it was the truth, but it wasn't. So it's not like Jay was lying, but Jay was lying. And I'm not gonna say lying. He just over. It's battle rap, so of course you want to say the thing that's gonna make you look crazy. So at the time, think about it. Once again, look what I'm saying as a fan. When he dropped Illmatic and he took that big break, it was like, what happened? You know what I mean? And then you didn't have any songs in between, and then you came back, and then whatever the case may be. But it still doesn't go to show that that album was the best album out. Nobody was rapping like that. Once again, everybody was telling their story. Jay's has story rhymes when you listen to Reasonable Doubts. Biggie had story rhymes too on his first album as well, because Nas was already doing that on the first album. So by the time you niggas start doing your story rhymes to the certain beats and all that, the way Nas did it, Nas is back as Escobar. He's on some bullshit. He got the cigars. He got the waves now. He got shooters. He's talking about shooters. This Nas drinks Henny. This Nas gets drunk and has the hammer out, smiling too much with the Gap. This is a whole nother Nas. Escobar was another nigga. He wasn't the kid. Nasty Nas with the dope rhymes, looking from the porch. Now he's outside, and when I'm outside, I'm outside. He was talking, I'm a boss. Nas kind of brought that, once again, that boss, I'm a boss feeling. You got Rick Ross who says it, but when Nas came out with Escobar, he was showing you he was a boss. He talked about being a boss. And it made people go, I'm a boss. Even to Pac, like Pac, I'm a boss. I'm a made man, I'm a boss. M.O.B. Mob shit, B. Mob shit. Look what Nas. Remember now. Let's look again. Nas had The Firm. What did Pac have? Pac had The Outlaws. Listen to the names of the Outlaws. Look what he had did. Remember when Pac said why he named himself Machiavelli. Machiavelli was an Italian guy who was like a villain or something. He did something crazy, right? I know the story. I read the book, but he took that name. If you ask him why he chose those names, Napoleon, remember he named his mans all those names. He said because the Italians took from us all the time, so we're gonna take back from them. Cause that's what made me become Bumpy Johnson. Like, oh shit, that's some real shit. You know what? I'll take some shit from them too, because they always take from us, is what he said. That's how you know he was in tune with the whole shit. That's why when they met up, that's why when the shit happened, they met up. It went down the way it went down because of these albums. And he really liked it, Nas. That's why Nas was like, how does he have this weird connection with him? Behind the scenes has nothing to do with what's going on in front of the camera. You hear different stories about that meeting. You heard Snoop say that Nas and them had mad guns and Pac and them wasn't on point. You hear that Pac and them had mad guns and Nas and them wasn't on point. You hear that they both all had guns and everybody was on point. It is whatever it is. But we know at that meeting that those two guys squashed their beef. But Pac said, and I quote, he said that he met with Nas first. And then when he went back, he hears the song, um, the fake love, you catch a slug, and was like, oh shit, this nigga tried to play me. That's why he answered. So I'm telling y'all, man, I'm telling y'all. Because you know, rappers in New York was doing subliminals. 50 was the only nigga that kind of like brought the name, saying a nigga. Like Pac did it too. Pac did it, but then 50 brought it back by saying niggas' names. Pac did it by saying niggas, because niggas wasn't doing that. That's what made Pac so interesting. Nobody was saying the rapper's name. A lot of rappers would do subliminal songs, and you would have to kind of listen and go, "Oh, you talking about?" Like I'm from that era. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll say certain little things, and then you'll be like, if you're not listening, you won't know. But if you listen, you go, "Oh, nah, niggas talking about Jay-Z, or nah, this nigga's talking about this guy." Like, oh shit, yeah, because that sound like him. And then you know that rapper would never have to answer the question. You know what I'm saying? You just have to kind of go with it. Yes, no. If the rapper don't say yes, and that's the time, like I said, it's subliminal shit. So the rapper wasn't going on an interview saying, "Yeah, I just dissed this nigga on my album," or "I dissed a couple." They wasn't even going, "Yo, I dissed a couple of niggas on my album." Niggas is doing regular rap stuff, which would be automatically sound like you dissing somebody on the album, because that's just how rappers talk. So you feel what I'm saying? So it was a lot of subliminal shit going on back in the days. But then Pac said, "Listen, let me." So y'all won't be confused in New York. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to him over there. Oh, you niggas want to talk shit too? So now I'm talking to you, and now I'm talking to you too. So we don't have no confusion on thinking I'm trying to diss New York, because I'm from there. Stupid. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. What are we talking about here? How am I gonna diss home? I'm mad at home because I got shot at home. Everything was happening to me at home. I'm the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go over here where I used to go chill at. They ain't shoot me and stab me down here. Let me go over here. That niggas is bugging at home. At home. I'm mad at home. Shit has happened to me in my house where I'm from. What the fuck is going on here? Go home and niggas from home could tell me what's going on. Go home, go to my other second homes and hang out there. And they could tell me what happened to me in New York. This is not good. But yeah, that's my whole spin. That's a whole nother story about that. But it was written, it was the album that Tupac could not beat. Illmatic. Nas was the guy that Tupac couldn't beat when it came to record sales. Maybe later on in Death, um, and maybe at a time when the kid wasn't competing, but every time that kid competed with him, he gave him a problem. He gave him a problem. He gave him a big problem. So shout out to Nas. It Was Written. Go check it out. If you've never listened to It Was Written before, listen to it again. Listen to Illmatic, and then go listen to It Was Written. You can see the growth in his lyrics. You can see the and Pac was saying he was on some movie shit. I don't know. I don't care what you called it at that time. You can see it. You can see the suits. You can see the whole. You can't beat that, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that album was one of the biggest and best albums in hip hop. It had the best beats, the best lyrical content. Um, Big single. If I Ruled the World was a really big single. You had fucking Lauryn Hill on there. You can't beat that. You feel what I'm saying? The song is about hustling. And, yo, bro, y'all crazy. Listen to Street Dreams. Y'all want to talk about like Jay-Z talking about stuff of hustling. Listen to Street Dreams on Nas's album. Fam, if that's not a hustler's whole thought process, then I don't know, fam. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's it, man. I'm out of here. World's Strongest Hustler is what they call me. They also call me King Bumper Belly Johnson, King Bumpy Johnson, KBJ, whatever you want to call me. Yo, call me Bang Bang. Yo, Bang Bang was good, whatever, whatever. But check out my page. Once again, subscribe, like. This is Bang Bang HD TV Media. We do a lot of media on here. A lot of media, a lot of interviews. I interview a lot of rappers. You can go check out some of the stuff I got on here. There's rappers I interview. There's all kinds of stuff that I do. Outpost. Check out whatever's on here, man, and check out the page and keep subscribing. We're gonna be doing more of these things. I don't know, I might do another one later on today. I might do another one tonight. You know what I'm saying? But please check it out. share it, like, subscribe. I don't think I said nothing wrong here. I didn't have perfect dates. I had perfect dates of what I needed to have dates on. You feel me? Y'all can debate and do what y'all want to do after this. Yo, now you bugging Jay. You know, y'all can do all that after. But I'm telling you, from my point of view, with the math that's being done, that Nas had the greatest album of 1996 that was almost mostly duplicated. Everybody trying to duplicate the style and the look and the whole mafioso thing when he dropped It Was Written. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. You stay tuned, stay liked, stay loved. Spread love, not war, man. That's my main shit. I spread love. This is not for anything else. This is about peace. This is about peace of mind, and this is about hip hop and conveying our culture and keeping our culture going. I'm just a young kid from the Bronx. I'm the fly on the wall that got to be around and see a lot of you guys, the Dame Dashes. I got to see a lot of you guys early. I was the kid that was just standing there. I probably wasn't even with nobody. I just standing around looking from afar, paying attention though. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the life that I wanted to be in. A lot of niggas wanted to be hustlers. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be something in the music since I was a kid. So I paid attention to things that was going on around me with every rapper, every producer, everybody in my neighborhood. If you was in my neighborhood, you definitely, if you was in my neighborhood, you saw me before, I bothered you a little something. Well, that's another story. All right, y'all. Enjoy y'all day, man. World's Strongest Hustler. Bang, bang TV, man. It's the brand you can trust. You can trust this brand. I don't got no bullshit going on here. Lies and horse around and capping and stupid shit. This is about the real hip hop shit. It's about a guy who's a fan of the game and just want to make sure I give everybody who's trying to get the culture the right information and stuff that they didn't know and want to know or are interested in hearing. All right? Bang, bang.